COVID-19 is going to be with us for a while. It's not going to suddenly go away, even when we set up our immunization programs. So we need a long-term, sustainable, cost-effective solution to be able to monitor the COVID-19. And we strongly believe that the wastewater surveillance is a very important part of the regular public health activities to monitor this.
Our lab was pretty much shut down, like most everybody else's lab was shut down. And so part of this grew out of a desire to contribute something. Right? We have all this equipment, we have skilled personnel, we have the methods. How do we contribute to the public health effort?
We saw this really interesting opportunity to look at whether or not we could use remnants of this virus in wastewater as a way to detect whether or not someone who is contributing to sewage might be carrying the virus.
We have a great team of field scientists that go out every morning on WVU campus. And for our current testing regime, they open up a manhole, put a bottle down in the wastewater flow, seal it up, put it in a cooler, and bring it back to the lab. And then we take over concentrating the virus, extracting the RNA, testing for COVID. We tried to pick residence complexes that housed a fair number of students. So what our results tend to correlate pretty well with what the testing on campus is showing.
You get increases in titers of the virus particles in the sewer system 3 to 5 days preceding identification of an outbreak in a community. So we think that it's a tremendous way on a long-term basis to be able to monitor trends. Like, let's assume we got the problem under control at the university or in a prison or a nursing home. We would then be looking at sampling 2 or 3 times a week to be able to see the load staying low. And then the moment we got an increase in the counts of virus particles in the sewer, that would then signal to us that we really needed to go further and start investigating. So rather than trying to test everybody all the time, we just by testing one sample of the sewer, we can then use that as what we call a sentinel surveillance system, just to keep track of and monitor what's going on. And then alert the public health authorities, look, we need to go further and investigate where this potential cluster might be.
I think we can reasonably assume that COVID's going to be an issue for the next year, probably, and most likely beyond. Again, we have to see what happens. As we get into influenza season, then because influenza and COVID share a number of basic symptoms, it will be really useful to be able to disentangle influenza outbreaks from COVID outbreaks. And so you could envision this kind of wastewater-based epidemiology continuing, sure, forever, or at least for a long period of time, because it can be applied to different infectious disease pathogens.
We believe that there are other outbreaks. This is not the last of the big outbreaks to come along. We need to be prepared in the future and to have a model that will be able to respond to public health emergencies in the future.
It feels very abstract in the lab because we're just pipetting wastewater around for a large part of the day. But when I stop to think about it, that's one of the big reasons that we started this work. This allows us to bring our skills and our equipment and our methods to bear on a problem that really is of urgent public health need.